Hey, what's up? David here with After VideoFX and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be creating this street explosion effect using After Effects, and I'll be using Action Essentials 2 by Video Copilot. So there's a lot of elements that's being composited in here. We've got fireballs, we've got dust waves, sorry, we got debris, and we got some smoke elements, and all that will be covered in this tutorial. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we're going to be creating. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that. So let's go straight into it. So let's go ahead and drag this video into a new comp. And I'm just going to label this as Street Explosion V2. Okay, so let's go ahead and just grab a curves effect on this because it's a little too dark. So just brighten that up. About there is pretty good. And let's get an adjustment layer, so Control-Alt-Y. And let's label this as levels. Let's grab the levels effect. And roughly we just want to draw a mask around this area. So just draw a mask around this. And just hit F. Maybe 50 pixels. And just crush some of that white down like that. That looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and grab our fire elements. So I'm just going to grab this and that and drag it in here. So let's start with a fireball. So as you can see, plays, boom, there's the fireball. And let's just go ahead and move this here. Now let's just scale it down. And just move it in here. And we'll make it 80. And just position it right there. Okay. And we want to create a mat for our fireball. So let's just make a new solid. And we'll make it red and just call this matte. Let's put it on top of the fireball. And let's just hide that for now. And let's just draw a nice mask around this beam here. So just come in, just draw a mask. Maybe shut the eye off. And if we hit F and just feather out maybe like 2 pixels. And let's subtract matte to alpha inverted. That way it's hiding behind this, and just adjust this mask just a little bit. That way it just covers it up. That. Okay. Now since it's going to be a little far, we don't have to really worry about these little edges here. So you can just try to be as close as you can, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Maybe we'll even just make it like 3 pixels. Okay, so there's our fireball, and we can just even rotate it just to, make sure it looks a little flat like that. Okay, cool. And then we can go ahead and add in our big fire, which is right there. And let's drag it in here. Let's rotate it just roughly around there and scale it in maybe about 85%. And let's just draw a quick mask around the bottom area. Let's subtract it, hit F, and maybe feather out maybe 10 pixels like that. Okay. And let's just flatten this. That, and just position it right there. Okay, and just duplicate our mat and alpha invert that. position it like there. Okay, cool, there's our file. So now we want to time these. So first thing we need to do is, let's take our big file and just put on top of it. And then let's just offset the time. Okay, so we have our fireball happening and then our big file comes in. Now it's just coming on top, so we could just add in an opacity keyframe, but what I did was add in an alpha keyframe. So let's get the curves adjustment, go into the alpha, and just crush that alpha down. And set a keyframe for that. Move forward until the fireball starts to go, and we can just crank that fire back up. So like that. So now if we take a look at this, the fire is coming in a little smoother. Okay, cool. And let's put our levels on top of this. That would get nice there. Okay, and let's just move the fire down just a bit till it's level with this concrete floor. That, and same goes with our fireball. Let's move down. And just extend the mask for both of these. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go ahead and add in debris here. And just shut the fireballs off. So we got some debris that just falls apart like that. Let's just position this somewhere around here. Scale it down. And just maybe like rotate it. And let's just grab our mats. Do I use alpha inverted? And same goes for this one as well. There we go. Let's position this here. And just alpha invert that. And we want the debris to happen as the explosion happens. So we can do that by just sliding this across here. So the fireball happens. Let me just turn them on. The fireball happens, and then I want my debris to start happening around maybe there. And there we go. Now it's looking a little fake because of this mask, so we can just readjust this until it aligns perfectly with our column here. So let's just take a look at this. We got all of that happening. Now we want it to come out when it's at this point, so I'm just going to cut these layers like that. And just do it like that. Okay. So it looks like that. So that's the basic idea. And let's finally just add in our dust wave and elements here. So let's just have a look at this. Let's just shut these off for now. So we've got our dust wave elements here. So let's focus these one at a time. So are these the same? So I just add this here. Let's go ahead and just draw a rough mask around that. Subtract it, hit F, feather it out, maybe about 50 pixels. And just scale it in. Just rotate it. Let's just duplicate our matte. Alpha invert that. Just play with this mask. Like that. And we can even just duplicate these two and just offset the time for both of these. So maybe we can just offset for this one and offset for that one. And we might extend it. So let's go time stretch and just make it 130. And we'll make this one a little slower. Maybe at 150. Just offset the time for these. Cool. Alright, and then so we want the dust waves to happen for our fireball. So let's just add them back in. So the fireball happens, and then we want the dust waves to come on. So let's just add these. Let's just cut these around here. Oh, by the way, it's alt bracket for how I cut the dust waves. So something like that. And we can even add a curves adjustment to these, just to bring the alpha up. Like that. And we can just copy this and paste it like that. Alright, so let's just check this out. Okay, so yeah, obviously it's not looking good. And some of the dust waves is just cutting off on this edge, so I'm going to fix that just by adding another mask on top of this side here. And let's subtract that area, hit F, and let's maybe fit it further out, maybe 50 pixels, and just copy that, and just copy on this layer as well. Okay, cool. And what I can do is just add like a little bit of an opacity keyframe. For this one you can just add just an opacity keyframe because it's just dust elements, so that's okay. And I wanted to play around halfway, so it just comes naturally. Yeah. Alright, okay. Let's go ahead and just make all of these a little clearer to see. Let's make these yellow. Okay. Alright, so let's go add in some sparks. And let's just set this to screen. And we've got some sparks happening here. Like that. And let's just go ahead and just like so it looks like that. Okay, so let's just flip it. So let's just make this one minus 100. And let's just position it somewhere along here. Scale it down like that, and just add in our usual mask here. Just make these subtract, feather it out maybe like 20 pixels. And let's just duplicate our mats, put on top, alpha invert at that. And there's our sparks happening. Okay, so let's add in our smoke. So let's go ahead and add in this dark smoke element. And let's just change this to yellow. Let's have a look at this. So we want it to start crawling up from here. So let's just position this somewhere around here. Let's just get rid of this harsh edge at the bottom. Like that, and let's just put this at the bottom of our file. Alright, and might set some keyframes and just so that fades in quite nicely. Okay, and then we want to just offset these until it starts crawling up from maybe from here, and just maybe make it extend it out. Okay, right, so then maybe we can make it a little faster, maybe about 80%. And let's just duplicate our mats, just put it underneath here. I'll invert that. So we'll come up with a little bit of a problem here, so we can see our smoke is starting to a little bit get cut off. So let's just rotate this and just move it across here so that it doesn't intersect with our mats here. So now we can go ahead and just give this a preview. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, so it's not looking horrible, but there's a lot of things we can start tweaking. So first things first, this smoke element, it's kind of fading in before the actual fire, so let's just adjust that, make it faster coming like that. And once we want the fireball to be covering the smoke once it happens, so somewhere about. And with this debris, I want it to happen a little earlier, so just slide these across here and just move this mat across. And I'll just position just behind our thing. Like so. And with our sparks, might happen a little slower, so let's just stretch this to maybe about 120. Okay, let's go ahead and add two adjustment layers, so Control Y, and let's just put these on top, and let's work on these one at a time. So for this one, we're just going to CC, and we'll call this one Glow. And we're just going to add a simple color correction effects to this, so let's drop this to about 15 and just give this a little bit of a nice contrast here. Maybe add some red, take away some blue, like that. Be sure to change your channel to 32 bits, and then for our glow, we can just add in the glow, and let's just change this to like 40%, and just drop that down. Set this to screen, A and B colors. So let's go and just make this like an orange color. Like that. And let's feather that out. And let's duplicate it. And spread that out even more. Last one. Even further, like that. We can even add an exposure and just adjust this to make it nice and glowy. Okay, and maybe a hue and saturation. Let's go into the red channel and just give that a bit more red, some lightness. Same goes for the yellow channel as well, like so. And let's just drop that to maybe like 80 pixels. 50 is good enough. And maybe we can add it like a little bit of a tint, or maybe drop that to like 10%. Okay, let's go ahead and preview this. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, not bad. There's a few things we can tweak even more, so let's start off with this smoke. It's cutting off up here, so we can just scale that up and just maybe move it up a bit. And we might even adjust this debris. So it's coming out here, and then it's just all of a sudden it disappears. So what we can do is maybe time remap this. So time stretch, and let's make it 150. Yeah. And then what I can do is just make it so it comes out a little later, or maybe a little earlier, as soon as the fireball happens. So if the fireball happens, and then all this debris comes out. Okay, so maybe just give this one a little bit of a tweak. Okay, and then our sparks, we can add a little bit of a glow to this. Okay. And we might even just add a like unsharp mask on top of all this, just to make it a little sharper. Another thing you can change is the dust waves. So right now I've got 2 dust wave elements, so maybe I can drop the opacity for both of these to about, I say, 50% each, and that should decrease this little bit of glow. And I'm just going to move all of these back underneath my debris, or what does it look like underneath my fire? Yeah, maybe underneath my fire. Okay, so let's check out our preview. Okay, let's check out our preview. Okay, not bad. So maybe at this point I want the smoke to start crawling up and be at its peak opacity. So I want the smoke to be there, like that. And I might scale down my fireball. Just move it across here. Like so. And just get my smoke rolling. Okay, so I just timed my smoke just so that it comes on as this fire is growing. So from here it's 0, and from here it starts getting bigger and it's at 100% opacity, and then it just start growing fire, just growing bigger, sorry. Alright, so that is looking okay. So we can even add some camera shake into this, so we can drop this into a new comp, and we can add some keyframes, so positioned here, and maybe just around this 2-second mark. We can add the wiggler. Let's change this to jagged. Now for my numbers, I think were 5 and 40. So I'm just going to apply that, and I might just spread this one out. And now let's just take a look. Okay, cool. I might even just hold Alt and just evenly spread this out and just scale it up to maybe 105. That way we get this nice edges covered. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I know it's been a long tutorial, but just a lot of trial and error just to create these effects and just see what works best for your shot. Anyway, guys, my name's David. I hope you learned interesting techniques that you can use for your own creations. Please give a like if you like this video so people can find it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and be sure to hit that bell button to get the notifications. And comment down below if you have any questions. And I will see you in the next video.